My mic's going to short out from all the sweat dripping on it. But
my cat is in here ready to F with me, so... No.
Chris, bitch about something. Come on. Everybody else is doing it.
I went to the haircut place today and had to wait, even though I checked in online. And it said 0 minutes on the thing. And then when I got there, I had to wait for half an hour.
Yeah. Half an hour? I'd have just left.
Yeah, fuck that, man.
How long was the haircut itself?
It's a great clip, so it's like 12 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, how much longer did you wait than the haircut took? Yeah,
I got to the same.
More than double.
Yeah. I grade clips it also. If I look at the app and it's like 30-minute wait, I'm like, not today, Satan. I am not waiting 30 minutes for a $12 haircut or whatever the fuck it is.
Clearly,
although my great clips girl is fucking amazing. She gives a fine cut.
I haven't paid for a haircut in 20 years.
Well, you don't have any hair.
Yep.
Did you have hair when I met you? To once a quarter instead of once a month, so it was getting pretty shaggy. I had to do it.
I'm once every 2 weeks, and if I miss it, I look fucking homeless.
God, come on, cat. Okay, you gotta go. Oh, I can't. I can't say no to you. Sorry, fellas. Huh?
He's apparently we're relaxing now, so
sorry about that.
Talking to our mics.
I'm so sorry.
All right, I'm going to bed. It's good talk. I got to be up in 6 hours.
Oy, I know. Gosh.
So in basically the last episode, we were just hiking our way down through the green belt, kind of crossing off hexes, huh?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, let's really run it back. You went to Boken for 2 reasons: to learn about Mitchell's past and to try to figure out some wolfsbane for Sirio's lycanthropy. And Boken says, well, I don't have any wolfsbane, but I know that you can find it in the south. You drop by Oleg's, where Castangaris is like, hey, guys, have you heard of these lizard folk way down to the south in the Came lands? They're causing all kinds of trouble. And so you've charted a course really to drive your way down into the Came lands, and you're crossing off some hexes in the Greenbelt and the Tuskwater. Fast forward to last episode, at the end, and you found this like crude pit that was like a concealed trap that a poor little thylacine activated. Fell down there. You guys come upon this yipping thylacine. And Kurtala jumps down there and tossed that little fucker right out.
Saved him.
Yeah, he saved him.
Saved that thylacine.
Yeah,
I picture us like kind of all like, oh, that was really nice of him. We kind of stand up and one of us turns around and sees that the thylacine just spiked on a tree. Like a tree branch was like...
I was thinking flying through the air, just like all four legs splayed, just like cartwheeling into the sky.
But the scene is like, it's clearly a dummy thylacine. Because like, the legs in the
yeah, exactly. Like a bad cut to like a dummy. That's great.
Well, remember that. That thylacine dropped by the campsite that night. Remember that little,
right.
Oh yeah,
that little thing at the end that he was following. Maybe he wanted some more beef jerky or something. But there was a nature check that was rolled that was failed by by Kurtala. And that little thylacine goes
shocker
into the forest. Yeah, and he's gone. But that's about where we're at. So I still think we're on the same course. You're actually going to drive yourselves up to the northwest, back into the green belt in just pursuit again of searching and trying to get this place mapped. And again, I'll remind you guys, it's cold. We're in the midst of winter. We're probably in late December at this point, or whatever the Galarian counterpart to December is. Could be the Galarian Christmas is coming up soon. Hark the herald angels sing. Take it, guys.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a hard pass.
Yeah, I don't think angels mean the same thing in Galarian.
Yeah.
Especially with their getting rid of the alignment in this new version.
Right.
Hey, we should talk about the remaster. What are your opinions on the remaster, everybody?
There was a 49-page PDF preview. I got through about 2 pages and was like, oh, I'm not going to read this when it's all going to change.
I looked at the file. I didn't actually open it, but I saw it.
I haven't opened it either, but I saw a YouTube video that broke it down a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a deal, personally.
Yeah, I think most of its name changes to distance from wizards.
Right. It's a lot of spells are getting changed. Like Burning Hands, for example, is getting reflavored as more a fire breath spell.
Oh.
Instead of like a Burning Hands spell.
Is that the one they're renaming Ignition, I think? Was Burning Hands was moving to Ignition?
Maybe it's like Fire Breath, I think
was
it's
it Fire
called.
Breath? Okay.
But I think Ignition is another one I'm sure they're doing. But
Maybe Produce Flame they were turning into Ignition. Maybe that's what it was. And either way.
You know, I didn't really see the whole hullabaloo with the OGL drama personally. I didn't. I thought it was a big, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to express an opinion on this. A lot of people are very opinionated. I didn't see the big deal, but whatever.
I didn't really understand it, and it's kind of past now, so I guess that really didn't matter. I don't know, unless it's still lingering drama.
You gotta whip up into a frenzy the 1% of the player base that's very vocal and active online, and then you can make companies change course. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Should I get on our social media, Brad, and rile people up?
Oh, that's a great idea, Bill.
I'm really good at it. I'm really good at it.
No, man.
Again, this is why we're not friends on Facebook anymore.
I don't even do that anymore, Brad. All my things come through personal messages through DMs now.
I think the remaster is cool. I think that I think it's an opportunity for Paizo to just fix some stuff anyway that I'm sure came to light during the 4 or so years that the second edition's been out. I think it's a nice opportunity for them to kind of do some intermittent changes, and I'm looking forward to kind of the new classes and stuff. I think for this podcast, I think what we're going to do is when the remaster releases, I think we're going to click over and use it.
I think so, and it just to stay current.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll implement it.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Well, I voted. I'm just
My
kidding.
strength
I don't-
score
Bill,
will
you're
go
outvoted.
from
Oh, well.
say my strength score will go from 10 to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Ability scores are out, just mods are back in. And that, I don't know, that makes more sense to me anyway. I don't understand. I mean, I've always sort of just been like, well, the ability score doesn't matter. And it's just a mod. What's the score going to do? So we bring it back then to the next morning after you camped out. God, I can't believe it. It's got to be cold camping in the cold. Chris, you're an Eagle Scout. How do you camp in the cold? How does that work in the real world?
So you have a sleeping bag and usually a tent or something. So
Yep, that's usually how it works.
Do you just keep the fire going all night?
No.
Or do you just bundle up really big?
Well, it
to
depends
sleep?
on...
We're
I
also
mean,
running a watch. We're keeping a watch, so keeping the fire going is probably good for whoever's on watch.
yeah,
Unless
but
it's
I mean, just sleeping as long as your sleeping bag's rated for whatever temperature
Yeah.
you're in, you're good.
Well, and what I learned too
Don't
is you need
bundle
to,
up because you'll sweat
Yes.
a bunch and then you'll be super cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like if you've got an efficient sleeping bag, like sleeping in as little clothing as possible.
And put layers
Smarter.
between you and the ground.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know any of this.
Silk
When I was a
underwear.
kid, I remember reading a story of you know those parkas with the fur lining on them. I'd read a story
I
about
love those things.
about an explorer like in Antarctica or the South Pole, whichever it was, or North Pole, whichever it was. I got my fucking pole confused. Thank you.
One of the poles.
One of the poles.
The top one or the bottom
the
one?
The top or the bottom. I don't know which.
There's only a 30-degree difference. It's
But
fine.
anyhow, him breathing, right? The condensation from his breath ended up freezing up around the fur and suffocated. So I would refuse to ever wear any coat that had any kind of lining on it because I was convinced that I was a little kid. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was like 8. Like, so yeah.
Did you guys
got that
see
one too.
the new Star Trek? Not the new one, but the first one of the reboot that had like Chris
With Chris
Pine.
Pine and
Yeah.
Thor.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah. I want the winter coat that Spock had in there, where it
Yes.
like domed over around his face.
Yeah.
That thing was so dope.
That's the kind of what that Donnie's talking about that would kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely freeze your face in.
I used to run in the winter a lot, and that would happen like to the face masks. They'd get all crusty.
Wow.
Do we start needing to make face freeze death checks during this camp?
None of us are wearing parkas.
No.
We're probably just wearing furs.
I just have people gather around and I'll explode my armor.
Yeah, sure. We might take a little damage, but we'll be warm.
Oh, and a little clarification too. We don't actually have the trolley.
That's
we're
right.
on
You're
horseback,
using
yeah.
horses on this
Yeah.
expedition, which I don't know. I think the trolley doesn't have heat. I just can't imagine how cold you must be just sitting in this rumbling box, and
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
I don't really know it would be that cold because you could technically hang furs around the frame, so it would enclose it and put them over the top.
I'm
So
going to
then you'd have,
ask
like, a
you
cabin.
to check out the Sopranos classic, The Pine Barrens, to understand exactly how cold it would be in a van in the middle of winter.
Yep.
Because I actually go through that exact scenario. And maybe we'll get lucky and find a leftover ketchup packet in the glove compartment we can fight over.
I saw the first season of The Sopranos, and I just stopped watching
Oh,
it.
God. I'm going to have to quit this fucking podcast. Are you serious? You guys
I've
Never seen.
I've never
Jesus
seen a full
Christ.
season. I've seen
Oh
like
my
a couple
God.
episodes.
What the fuck is wrong?
I also didn't
Oh,
watch Game of Thrones until the last 4 episodes.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is a waste of time at the end of it. But
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, okay. All right. No, not Sopranos
Johnny
fans.
sounds like he wants to fight. He's like, all right,
Let's play
Sorry,
some
Johnny.
Pathfinder. Let's go.
When
Let's do
Chris
this.
and I were living in the same city, we used to do movie and TV show marathons pretty routinely. We
Yep.
marathoned the whole Saw series. We marathoned. We did all. Oh, well, I guess at that point there were 6 Star Wars films. We marathoned those in a day, and we did 2 seasons of Game of Thrones in 2 days, and that's the only time I've seen Game of Thrones. Was
Yeah.
those
Wow.
2 seasons in 2 days in Chris's basement. So
Wow.
that's all I got for you. And I was like, oh, this is good. And then, I don't know, I just stopped watching it. No, I went
Well,
back
you-
to school. I didn't have time for anything. I
You
was
saved
in
yourself
class.
time, and it's so disappointing. So disappointing.
Yeah, I've seen the clips on YouTube. It kind of looks like a little, ugh. Well, the sun rises. Kritala froze to death in the
Yeah, he
middle of
did.
the night. I'm sorry, Donnie. Sirio froze to death in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, Chris. But Dry, you wake up and you discover that Mitch froze to death in the middle of the night. It's so. Bill, what do you do?
I was the only one who's smart and cut one of the horses open and crawled inside in the middle of the night so I wouldn't freeze.
What
to
about
death.
Lindsay? Isn't Lindsay still tagging along?
Oh, you look over and
did we leave
she's
her
frozen to death in the middle of the night.
If she's still in her full plate mail, then yeah, she's done.
No, Lindsay.
Donner-
Lindsay's the bard.
Donner,
Bart,
party
Bill.
of one.
Oh yeah.
Party of one, Donner.
At least I won't run out of
Draco May,
food.
party of one.
At least I won't run out of food.
You got a lot of food all around you. No, everyone's fine, and everyone's up and awake and moving around, and you guys got the kettle on, and it's the next morning. What do you do?
Well, let's break camp and go southwest.
I like it.
Do it.
Okay, you get on your horses. You discover to your dismay that they've all frozen to death in the middle of the
Damn
night. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over because I derive a little bit of joy from it.
Well, I'm just picturing you thinking like it's probably like 25 degrees, and like that's hard, man.
Ooh, so cold. 25 degrees
How do you
Fahrenheit.
survive?
How can anybody survive in these conditions? Fine. All right, so you head southwest. You take that first of your 2 travel activities. You head southwest. You're back down into the Tuskwater region now, and you're not far. You're 1 hex to the west from where you discovered Narthrople's expedition, and you're 2 hexes away from Fort Trand. There is a river here that runs toward the Tuskwater. It's neither the Thorn nor the Shrike. I don't know what this river's called, but there is a river that flows east toward the Tuskwater Lake. Of course, the Tuskwater Lake being the lake that Fort Trand is on the northern banks of. What do you do now that you're in this hex? Are you reconnoitering?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, there, fellas, make that check. Make that perception check.
23 for Mitch.
29 for
Dang. Whoa, holy crap.
Oh, Dry Coal May. Can anyone get a 30?
Mathematically impossible.
Fair enough. Okay. So you guys are walking. You guys are riding around, and Dry, your fist goes up into the air as if to make the universal stop motion. And everyone dismounts, and Dry, you hear angry voices engaged in argument just over the next rise.
I'm going to tell everybody and be like, hey, I think there's some people up here having a problem. Sounds like with each other.
Katala
you tell?
does it sound like they're having an angry argument?
Maybe.
Is it a
freezing
marital
to death.
spat?
They're probably about to die from cold.
Do they know how cold it is out here?
It's 27 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, 27.
It's mid-morning. It's
see
mid-afternoon.
my
Does
breath.
Dry know what language they're speaking?
Yes.
They're speaking common. It's just a little, it's too far away to really know what's going on. But you hear like a low-pitched voice that says something like, release them. Release them now. Like at the screaming at the top of his lungs. Not like in fear, but more just in anger.
I'm going to look towards the guys behind me, and I'm going to wave forward, and I'm going to spur the horse on.
All right.
I'll follow. Sword out.
You arrive. The river here makes a sharp bend, widening into a deep pool. The water flows slow enough in this area that the pool has actually frozen over into a thin sheet of ice. Although you wouldn't want to step on it, you think you'd go right through. 3 freshly felled trees lie beside their stumps on the shore of this pool, their crowns dangling down into the water among fading tendrils of mist. And you see 8 men. They look to be loggers, and 6 of them are standing in a group, kind of around the foreman, who seems to be kind of in control. 2 of the lumberjacks face the other 6, and floating above the 2 lumberjacks that are facing the other 6, floating above those 2 lumberjacks is some sort of fey creature, like placidly floating above. And she and the lumberjack foreman are like engaged in this argument. What do you do?
Southwest.
What?
Just keep going, because fuck Faye. I don't give a shit. Let's just keep going.
Just out of here.
Yeah, our
I
track
mean-
record with Faye has been less
Yeah,
than stellar.
why do we care?
Well, this is kind of our backyard.
You know, as you crest over the hill, the foreman notices you and he kind of hails you over. He explains to you gruffly. He's like laced with profanity. He's like, this creature attacked me and my workers unprovoked. It's so hard for decent lumberjacks to make a living with all these damnable fae in the woods.
That's racist.
And
Hey, Jack, I suggest you take some of that gruffness and some of that profanity out of your voice if you want our help, brother.
yeah, I'll try. I'll try to be a little more polite for you. Well, almost as he finishes saying that, the fae that's like floating up above, she responds calmly to this accusation that she attacked, and she's just like, I just politely asked the loggers to leave at first, but I was forced to enchant 2 of them. This foreman here threatened to hang me from a tree to drip dry. Ugh. And so you begin to see that 2 of the lumberjacks are like mind controlled right now, and are like standing and protecting this fae who's like floating above them. And the other 6 lumberjacks are like not sure what to do about this situation.
Release the lumberjacks from the enchantment.
They'll be killed immediately.
Well,
You want to see a picture of this?
I suppose. Let's see what we're dealing with. How many teeth it has.
Yeah, and if they're pointy or not.
Is it carnivore or an herbivore?
No, it's conifer.
Check the Discord.
Ugh.
Guys,
kind
I
of,
don't think we have any options here other than we need to hold a trial right here in the woods. We need to hear both sides of the story. We need witnesses, and we need to get to the bottom of this.
opening arguments. Let's hear it all.
Okay. Who will represent the lumberjacks and who will represent the fae?
I'll represent the lumberjacks.
Okay.
I'll represent the Fae.
Okay. All right. It's nice that you guys are providing this process to everybody. The king is the judge then?
Yes,
Yep.
of course.
I guess Dry Colme is the bailiff.
I'll be the bailiff.
He's the Rusty of our group.
And then the executioner. So Dry, call court to order then.
Order! Order in the king's court! You there, lumberjack, sit, man!
They sit down. And again, and actually, as this proceeding begins in earnest, the lumberjacks realize that this is King Sirio Xavier Sertova, And they're just like, oh, it's the king. And maybe you've even seen a couple of these guys before in Fort Trand. Some of these guys might be citizens that are out kind of making a private living. Okay. And so do you guys take a moment to confer with your clients? Here's what who's representing the loggers?
That would be Mitchell.
Mitchell, what you're told is that these loggers cut down these 3 gigantic trees and earlier today in the dead of winter. And shortly after that happened, this fae came upon them, demanded that they leave, told them that she would attack them if they didn't, and accused them of destroying the nature all around her without any sort of permission, and just rolled up and was very aggressive. And then, when these loggers were about to defend themselves rightfully, she then mind-controlled 2 of their friends and turned them against them.
Who are still mind-controlled, right?
Yeah, who are still mind-controlled. Yeah, and they're going to be dope-ass witnesses for the Fae, I'll tell you what.
Who were the lumberjacks cutting the trees down for?
Themselves, just their own profit.
Okay. Where are they selling them?
Well, probably just on the private market.
Okay.
So they're stealing from the king.
Perhaps.
That's not what we're after in this trial.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be decided later.
Kritala, meanwhile, you confer with the Fae, who turns out she is a Nixie named Melians. Melianzi.
Spell that for me.
Melianse.
And pronounce it again?
Melians.
Melons.
All right. And what type of fae is she?
She is, why don't you roll a nature check?
Oh, I thought you'd said. Okay.
She's a Nixie.
Yeah, she's a Nixie.
I rolled a 9 plus my incredible plus 0. So I rolled a 9.
Okay. Yeah, you're not sure. She's Fae. She looks kind of froggish. Like,
ma'am, if you can't tell me what kind of creature you are, I'm gonna have trouble defending you.
I'm what's called a Nixie. I'm the type of Fae that often guards pools and rivers and lakes and springs. She explains that she protects homes from advances of predators and careless humanoids alike. Normally reclusive. They try to keep their presence hidden. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they are aquatic fae. And so she's like floating above this pool with these 2 mind-controlled loggers. And she says these trees were 200 years old each, and they deserve a far better fate than serving as some grubby peasant's slop table.
Objection.
And I'm conferring with my attorney in private right now. Please stop.
Your Honor,
overhearing.
can you please let counsel know that they don't need to listen to our conversations? Thank you.
Sirio, you need to give an instruction to both sides that they need to not intervene when it comes to private conversations with their clients.
Okay.
Okay, I found this on the web for I need to give an instruction to both sides that they need to not intervening when...
Shut up, Sirio.
Wow. That's got to stay. Oh my God, shit. That's fucking great.
That's fucking amazing.
We're having a trial. That's what we're doing today. Okay, so Sirio gives the instruction.
Mr. Groning, court is not in session yet. Both parties are conferring privately, so let's try not to listen in.
Will His Honor please ask them to speak out of earshot then?
It's going sideways fast.
Well, Chris, I mean, so now the new request be to create space in between the parties in order so they can confer in private. What do you say to that?
We don't have time for that. We've got about 5 minutes, and then we're going to have a trial.
If I can hear her slanderous remarks from here, it's swaying the court, if it pleases Your Honor.
So now Counselor Groning is saying that the court will be influenced unduly by overhearing these conversations. All right, never mind. So that's her deal. Her deal is like, they're not even supposed to be here. They can go, obviously they should be logging somebody or somewhere else. And they threatened to kill me after I told them to leave. So what was I to do? It's 8-on-1.
What can I roll to file a motion to dismiss?
Make a society check.
Damn it, another 9.
Okay.
All right.
Sirio, the motion to dismiss leaves factual determination still in the air. You can't. You can't rule yet. It's too early. You got to take evidence.
I can't see you proving damages. I don't see how your clients are affected by this situation that wasn't brought upon their own actions.
All right. Are we ready? Are we ready for opening statements?
Sure.
Sirio, it's your court. Typically, the plaintiff goes first, Chris.
Which one would that be?
Well, who's bringing the action? Who filed the action?
Oh, let's let old fate decide. I've got here a coin from our new kingdom. It happens to have my face on the front, so that'll be heads. Let's go ahead and give that a flip.
Is your butt on the back? What's the tails?
Is it Kit? Is it the fox Kit or the?
The back is a crown. So it landed tails. So
Did anyone call heads or tails?
We did not.
We did not.
Okay.
I'm over here flipping coins just for the hell of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, try again.
Tails.
Yeah, it's tails. Okay.
Somebody codify this. This is how trials start in Galeria. In the Stolen Lands, at least.
Opening statements need to commence. You guys have to run the trial now.
Good job, guys.
terrible.
Good job.
Tosser, sit down. I got this.
Counselor Tosser.
Mitch steps
Objection.
up.
Please continue. Chris
Your Honor.
looks so
May I?
happy that we're doing this.
You should call Chris Your Excellency.
I can get
Your
behind
Excellency.
Your Excellence. Excellent. That's a really hard word to say. I'm just going to stick with Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, my loggers here, because I can't find the words. My clients, the loggers, were innocently fulfilling their duties as loggers to cut down trees in what could be our backyard of Fort Trand. And they were, without provocation, attacked by this Fae. I demand that the 2 loggers that are trapped be released immediately and them to be protected until they are finished logging.
You say that they were attacked. What evidence do you have against this? Are there any marks, wounds, bruises?
Mitch just points at the floating loggers that are like 2 feet from Sirio right now.
Oh, those guys. I mean, has any real harm come to them? I guess we'll find out.
Well, I would say that they are being held against their will.
Oh yeah, that does seem to be the case. Do you have anything else to say there?
Nope.
Your Excellency, may I retort?
You may retort.
I may retort.
You may rebut.
Now, Your Excellency, I may just be a simple country lawyer from Devil's Perch. But it seems rather obvious to me that this is a simple case of humans encroaching upon the Fae and trying to colonize the Fae world further than what they've already done. And this injustice, Your Excellency, cannot let be stand in the Stolen Lands. We must set precedent that the Fae and all kinds, all races and creatures from whatever planes are welcome here, as long as they're not evil and do weird magic shit that tries to kill everybody. We can't stand for that. But the other stuff, we should be welcoming for that. That's it. She's innocent. Like, let her go. Let's move on with this. These lumberjacks were warned. They knew it was going to happen. They need to be held accountable for the actions. Yes, these 2 lumberjacks are floating. No one can deny that they're floating. They don't seem harmed in any way, shape, or form. They're not bleeding. Look at their faces. Do they look like they're in pain? I don't see what the just cause against this my client is. These charges need to be dismissed.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, right. You both make some interesting points, and I may have a ruling here. So if
May I
I'm
rebut, Your Honor? May I rebut?
You're being
I
a
make-
rebut.
This is called Sir Rebuttal. Yes.
Yeah. Sir rebuttal.
yeah, make it
Sir
quick.
rebuttal. May I rebut? Sorry. Well, I would just like to clarify where exactly Miss Mellons resides.
I don't see how that has any standing in the court. Why that's relevant in any way, shape, or form.
Is it the first world or is it this world?
I believe my client tends to travel, as is her right. as a citizen of both the first world and this world.
What
So
right does she have to protect this forest?
Okay, so let me just make a couple observations here.
Sure.
So we've transitioned from opening statements into taking evidence, and instead of taking evidence from the witnesses, you're just taking evidence from each other. So the two lawyers are asking each other questions. Okay, I'm sorry. Please continue. This is how it's done here, I guess. Okay. You're just, it's called, I guess you guys are engaging in some discovery during. Okay. What are we even doing tonight?
Maybe
I don't
it's
fucking know.
I
I'm
have
having
no
a good
idea.
time though.
maybe at some point a fight breaks out here. Like let's.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow with the Fae in a minute. So you guys just keep talking.
All right.
So Sirio, you've heard the positions of the parties. What is the king's solution to this?
Well, first off, you need to release the loggers. Once you do, we guarantee your safety, the five of us. Once you do that, we'll need to know kind of what other trees in the area are protected. The loggers have to make a living. We're also close by in Fort Trand. I don't know if you've heard of it, but we do plan to expand into this region. And for both our benefit and the loggers, we would like to know what areas in this forest are protected.
Make a diplomacy check with a huge bonus.
Nice.
All right, so I put a 9 on the die, and I add 11 for my diplomacy, so 20 total.
That's not bad for
Yeah.
9.
And I gave you a +5 for your proposal.
Hell yeah.
There's a calm that comes over the parties. And the Fae, Melians, says, trees that are
Man,
so old.
as your attorney, I think you should confer to me before making any statements to the court.
Yes, thank you.
Zip it, tosser.
Let's hold fast there, Kritala. I want to hear what she says.
This seems quite irregular, Judge, but I'll allow it.
Let's keep it down.
You'll allow it, huh? The attorney will allow the judge.
The attorney
to,
will, yes. The
You'll
state,
allow
the state will allow the judge to.
The state. Oh, you're the state now.
We're on the state. Yes.
Trees older than a century should be left alone. They're special. They're part of history. They need to be left alone. I understand some logging must happen, but younger trees that aren't so old.
You heard her, boys. Kill the baby trees.
And the loggers are like, if you'll let us know which ones we're not to harm, as long as there's enough for us to do, and please release Bucky and Aloysius. She
Could you spell that, please?
waves her hand, and Bucky and Aloysius fall into the water. The party this proceeding seems to have diffused the situation. This is like the first. I'd say this is more of a mediation more than a trial, but I think it was productive. What do you guys think of this alternative dispute resolution that you just engaged in?
I think it's worth a ton of XP.
Yeah.
Lots of XP, I think.
Yeah. Mitch is actually going to talk to the loggers and be like, hey, helped you out. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Or I scratch your back, you scratch someone's back. We could definitely use some lumber in Fort Trand if you guys are looking for work.
And then Kachala comes behind him with a card and says, now look, guys, you're out at the bars on Friday, you're spending your paycheck, things get a little rough, you know what you need to do, you better call Katral if you get into trouble.
Call Kratal.
Yeah.
The loggers begin moving out. They eventually leave, and you're left here with this Fae. And she floats there, and she's just looking sort of sadly at the trees, and she looks to the four of you, and she's like, can you replace them somehow?
Yeah, we did have someone who might be able to assist, but sadly he's passed. So no protector tree or anything like that.
I'll teach you my ritual to mind control if you can figure out how to replace the trees.
How do we replace a tree? You just
Yeah,
want us to
aside
plant
from
new
Johnny
trees?
Appleseed planting a tree and then
Yeah.
waiting for 200 years.
What kind of check we roll in nature?
Sounds like I think we need a magical solution, I would think.
Nah, Mitch can make an Arcana check.
11 for Katala.
25.
There you go.
there's an item called a tree feather token. If you cast the token to the ground, a tree will spring up in place of the token. That could be a solution, Mitch thinks.
Mitch, where do we get this from?
You know, they can be crafted.
Okay.
They can be purchased.
Okay.
You know, if the settlement level's high enough.
I could possibly craft something that would bring this tree back, but it might take some time.
Okay. I will wait and continue to guard this grove. I'm also concerned about the level of due process that I receive.
While you guys are talking, Dry's looking for his horse.
Try's ready to move on.
He's done with this.
So, feather, what was the name of the item
A
again?
tree feather token.
Tree feather token. Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more about your mind control ritual?
It's called Inveigle. It's a ritual. It takes a day to cast. The cost of the components is 10 gold pieces times the target's level. The duration of the mind control is 1 year.
Holy moly.
Or until dismissed. You win over the target's mind, causing it to see you as a close and trusted friend and look upon your every suggestion as reasonable. The target is helpful toward you, so it will go out of its way to help you. As with any other helpful creature, there are limits to what you can ask of it. If you ever ask the target to do something completely against its nature or needlessly harmful to the target or its interests, not only does it refuse, but it also can attempt a will save to end the effect early. Because of the casting time and range, it's generally difficult to cast this ritual unless the target is willing or restrained. If the creature is unwilling to accept the ritual, it can attempt a will save to negate the effect. So she must be powerful indeed to have used this on the two lumberjacks. It looks like it's something that happened over the course of a day or two.
This is the kind of evil shit that Sirio was saying was unacceptable from the Fae, though, isn't it? Like, isn't this kind of against free will?
Mind control, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this inveigle is kind of it's kind of nutty stuff. It's a second level ritual that she performed on these two loggers.
It's a little morally questionable to Mitch.
Well, I think if we find one of these tokens, we can come back, right? I don't think
Yeah,
we've
3 of
got
them.
one. Oh, we've got 3?
Yeah, well, you need 3 to
We need
replace the
the
trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also it kind of becomes obvious to you guys after learning about the ritual that she was kind of playing a bold gambit because the loggers might not have attacked their friends, you know, because it's like totally against their nature. They were content to stand there and guard her. But if she'd ever instructed them to try to kill their friends, she would have been in a lot of trouble, probably.
Break the mind control.
Yeah.
Yeah, break the mind control, yeah. So that is that. So you guys handled this through king-mandated mediation. I think we should handle everything with mediation. I think we got to get Bill into the role
it felt good
next time.
Hey, you got to be blood and guts every time.
You guys maybe move on away. Is that what you do? You leave
Yes, as fast as
Melians to
possible.
her lake.
Yeah.
As fast as possible. at a hard gallop.
And you set up camp that night. You take steps to not freeze to death in the middle of the night.
It's so
And
cold.
I'll tell you what, that little thylacine is back. Again, same deal as before. He's kind of just on the edge of vision around your campsite. You see his little eyes glinting in the moonlight. You can see that he's got just a little bit of drool coming down the corner of his mouth. Like he's a little hungry. He's a little hungry guy.
Do I think this is the same thylacine from last time?
Yeah. You can still see the
Is he limping?
Do I get a sense that he wants to take a ride again?
you know,
Is he?
I think
look
that you're
excited?
picturing a series of images that involve you and this thylacine and you throwing the thylacine into
Yeah.
battle as an opening move.
Well, every time I picture it in my head, he's got a big smile on his face every single time. That's all I can see. So I think I will approach. I will get in my bag. I'm sure I've got some type of meat snack, and I will.
meaty snack.
I will
This
try to
little guy.
approach this little thylacine again. See if I can get him to come over to me.
Toss him a protein bar.
Toss him.
Yeah, you got a Cliff Bar in there? What do you got?
Got a milkshake. No,
Milkshake.
no milkshakes. Go for a milkshake. We don't have it.
Milkshakes bring all the thylacines to the yard.
That's right.
Oh man, do you guys have concrete places?
Oh, yeah.
That's just too good. Oh, I love that stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, make your nature check. I'm rooting for you.
Oh, darn it. That is going to be a natural 11 plus 0. So 11.
It's a little better than last time, though. You're creeping toward this little thing. You're holding the little piece of jerky out to it. And he looks like he's getting ready to maybe eat the little morsel out of your hand. What do you do?
I leave it there and let him sniff it.
So you like try to set it down on the ground?
No, it's still in my hand.
But it's still in your hand?
Yep.
Okay, so you hold your hand out to the thylacine.
Yep.
And he kind of gets a little closer. He's sniffing, his little whiskers are brushing up against the palm of your hand. And then, quick as lightning, the thylacine bites down on your entire hand. And he's just like, "Argh!" And what do? Your hand is now in the animal's mouth. He's biting down. There's little ringlets of blood coming down off of your wrist.
I'm going to reach over and grab him by the scruff of the neck.
Oh, okay, so you get him. All right,
Yep.
You get him. And so
Mike's
you
enjoying
got him
this
by
a
the
little
scruff.
We are really fucking getting into this.
Mike, do you not like dogs?
I don't know. What is this wrong?
No,
This is
keep
what you
keep
do
going,
to dogs.
keep going.
It's wrong.
Is this wrong?
No,
I don't know.
No, I don't
is
know where
good.
it's going. I hope it's not wrong. I'm
You
gonna
got
try
him by
not
the
to kill the
scruff.
dog on fucking
going
air.
30 yards behind you. That's where it's going.
Eventually, you get to the point where you're able to extract your hand out from its mouth.
Yeah.
The morsel's gone, and now you've got him by the scruff, and maybe you're like kind of holding him out away from you as he's just like going nuts.
Yeah, so I think I walk back to the fire. I'm still holding the dog out by the what is this, thylacine? I'm still carrying the thylacine by the scruff of the neck, and I just kind of walk back to the fire and say, "Hey guys, I have a thylacine." It's just, he'll tucker himself out. It'll be fine. He just keeps holding him.
Does anyone know how to calm him down? Can anyone calm him down?
Is Lindsay there? Can she do
yeah.
something with the loot?
Oh, Lindsay, right.
Kind of
right.
bard.
She begins strumming her lute. She's like, she's going to attempt her own little nature check, I guess. Or maybe guys want to try to calm this thing down. Well, it's a natural 17 from Lindsay the Bard.
There you
on this,
go.
nature check.
How much is that doggy in the window? Right? That's what Lindsay was
How
asking.
much is that dog? So she's got a little morsel in her hand. She's offering it toward the thylacine ever so slowly. The thylacine sniffs at the jerky in her hand, and its whiskers brush against her palm. And then the thylacine chomps down entirely on her hand. And ring. It's the same thing. I don't.
What the fuck is going on today? Mitch pulls out his sword. It's like, fuck this. This thing's vicious, man. Get that thing out of camp.
Did her
why
nat-
is that here?
Did her natural 17 nature check not tell her, like, whatever we can't do with his whiskers? Because apparently that sets him off? Like,
Yes, it's the whiskers.
is it the whiskers that are setting him off?
the whiskers.
I don't know.
You think if you cut the whiskers off, maybe
keep calling out
docile.
I don't know. The fuck you want me to do with this thylacine, Mike? I don't understand.
Will you just get that thing out of camp? Like, it is. Will you just throw it out of camp?
Give it
All
a
right.
good toss.
So I think he sees Critala sees Lindsay get bit, so he walks back over. He grabs this thing by the scruff of the neck, and he's gonna throw him. he's gonna toss him away from camp. What do
Tosser's
you want?
gonna toss.
Athletics?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
You guys couldn't see where this was going from the beginning. From the very beginning, you couldn't tell where this was going.
It's gonna be a 25.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh man, this thing catches air.
Deuces.
He's out of here. He lands in a soft thicket of
Good.
bushes, as you'd intended, and he darts off into the night.
Okay. Well, Mitch is going to try to go back to sleep after that bullshit. Like, what? Would you guys just fucking grow up and just go back to bed?
It's been a big day. I won a court case. I threw a thylacine again. I think I threw him twice in the same day, right? Or no, that was at night.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
All right.
Every day,